LL, good morning. What is popping for the Culture Friday? Lucky Lefty podcast. At some point, we will be dropping the link into the chat because we want to talk to you and hear from you today. LL Nation, we're brought to you by Onora Whisky, OnoraWhisky.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhisky.com. And if you're going to
drink responsibly. You hear me?
Left himself. It is a great Culture Friday. Great Friday, man. Great Friday. I don't know what's it like. I have a little nippiness here in the Midwest, bro.
Oh goodness.
We're right at about 70.
That's a nice day though. Nice
but that nighttime is starting to get real serious.
That's when you bring out the layers. That's what I love about the Midwest. It's layer season.
It's crazy because the other night, I think it was Wednesday night, I was sitting here next to my wife, and we both looked at each other and literally had to contemplate whether or not we were going to cut the heat on. Like,
like you didn't want to cut it on because it would make you mad. Like, dang, I got to cut it on right now?
Like it's September.
Like, it's kind of nippy now.
So, thank God for heaters, individual heaters. We went and got the nice little heater. Put it in front of us, took the little nip off our toes, and we were good to go. But yeah, it started, it's that time. You dude, come on, man. You know what October brings in South being in the Midwest. You know what it is. Yeah.
That's why I'm out in LA, but I'm experienced a little different. It was a heat wave where it was about 103, about 6-7 days straight.
Right.
Now that's a little like, I used to complain all the time about the cold. But that's a little different beast too.
Yo, what's crazy is my daughter, who's in school out there, actually had a shoot in the valley during one of those days. The valley is always hot.
And for whatever reason, this heat wave didn't quit. So it was like, how some you get a breeze, you go, okay, ooh. It was like it was sitting on you the whole day.
Yeah.
Which is different for California. In Arizona, you expect that.
Right.
It's like, but in I'm next to the water and can't get a breeze. That's crazy.
You can get small, heat, no breeze.
It's like heat trapped. Oh no.
Well, I guess that's why that ocean real estate is so expensive.
Yeah, they talk about global warming. The beachfronts is still expensive. Until them dropped about $100, I don't believe in global warming because I'll be living out there. By the way, shout out. I got my plaque in today.
Woo! Bestseller for your book.
#1 bestseller. It's a big plaque now. I feel like an independent artist. I'm like Chance the
Rapper. You are, bro.
Independent artist, man. Had to shout out to the plaque came in today.
You have so many nicknames, bro. Lucky Langston. Lucky
Langston.
Lucky Langston. Lucky Lefty.
That's right. We got it all, man. We try to do one thing at a time, but shout out Mark Julian, the Notre Dame alum, helping me make it happen, man. Couldn't done it without it.
Lefty OC.
Lefty OC. Tough game tonight versus Poly. Shout out to Lakewood High School, man. Root cheer for us.
You got the real squad opposing you tonight, huh? Long
13 Beach? Division I offers against 0.
You're trying to short. You're definitely trying to shorten the game tonight. You're definitely ball possession.
It's an uphill battle.
Knowing you probably gonna still throw the ball all over the place.
Oh yeah. Oh, we schemed up great. We got great schemes. It's just unfortunate that we don't got the same type of players they got.
Right. Lucky Lefty podcast. So today we'll get Malik's 3 keys to a dub. It's for the Culture Friday. In a few moments, we will be dropping the link so you guys can come on the show, give your comments, give your questions. We'll get to it. Hopefully, in the next few days, we'll get our super chat back. We don't know what the heck happened to it. It just literally disappeared off our YouTube channel. So we'll wait for Google to get back to us. But I have a totally different attitude, Left. Totally different attitude than I had, say, 2 days ago when it comes to Notre Dame football and where things stand. Um, I do believe my eyes have been open to recognize, okay, there were some issues here that maybe we overlooked because of the record. And now that those issues have kind of been exposed, had me feeling a certain way, but I feel encouraged. I think Cal is the perfect opponent for Notre Dame to be facing. I think Drew
Yep.
Pine is the right quarterback to be leading the way. You hear Isaiah Foskey, when asked about Drew Pine on yesterday, and the first word that came out of his mouth was leader. Leader. And
I mean,
I
you're not
found
gonna
that,
say big arm.
yeah, but put you were the leader of the squad. And it's apples oranges, right? Because you weren't playing because of injury. Similar to Tyler Buckner. Man, second game similar to Tyler Buckner. Boy, you and Tyler Buckner got a lot in common, boy.
A lot in common. It's real sick. Not everything, but it's some similarities for sure.
Yeah. No, you actually hit your big plays when you got the opportunity. Weeks 42. But
I mean,
no,
Tyler had everything in front of him, though. You know,
he did. He
from a
did.
perspective of you didn't
Yeah.
have nobody breathing down your neck. Everybody was on your team for your development and getting on the same page. I mean, outside of, I feel like they could have called some stuff that can, accentuate your abilities a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost had a silver spoon. Shit, you got hurt in the spring and still became the starter after Drew had all the chances in the world to take it from you.
Now, this is what I want you to touch on what it's like to be in a locker room where you're injured, but it's obvious that you're the leader in the locker room, and you have another guy at the same position that might not be as much of a leader, but he's out there playing. Like what? Like when the locker room recognizes who the leader is at the position, but the other guy gets the starting nod. Like, what is that like in the locker room?
Oh man, it's a little awkward because it's like the elephant in the room. At the end of the day, you're on a football team, and it preaches about it's not about an individual, it's about the team, it's about winning, it's about doing it together. But if you're not winning and you're not doing it together, and there's problems that exist, you don't speak on it as much as because it's like, okay, we don't make the decisions on the depth chart. So what makes the team go is not what the coaches are seeing. It just becomes this stale process of mistrust. Now, you're going to have a bunch of guys having their opinions on what they think should happen. You got a bunch of guys' opinions about the moves that are being made and the things being done. Everybody has an opinion. But when the team's not in sync, in my opinion, with the quarterback,
Mm.
everybody understands the value and the importance of what a strong quarterback can be. And if he's your leader, that's even better. That's the guy you're not worried about going into battle with. But if the guy that you wanting to go to battle with can't be out there, how do you go out there and win the game? How do you go out there in tough situations and look to your left and right, say, "Oh, we got what's the name? We're good," because we believe in the guy, not the guy's just the choice to start. I think that matters in an intangible sense. You can't measure that on a tangible thing on a team. You can't say, "Oh, his leader meter is higher than the other guy. But you know what works. You know what the team would prefer for when the tough gets going. Cal's, like you said, is a perfect game for not only Drew, but for the team because we have more talent and we should win. Just like last week, but we feel a little bit better because their numbers aren't the numbers that Marshall had. But it's a great game for Drew as the team leader to come in a game that's very winnable. He don't have to do much. All he got to do is score 2 touchdowns, and people gonna fall back in love with him. And everybody's gonna get the ball, and it's all gonna be great. And we're gonna hug and kiss after the game because everybody's gonna be like, "Wow, that's what we've been missing," which is not necessarily the truth. But the leadership aspect that Drew has, the team's gonna be like, "Okay, well, we back in the saddle. We back in the saddle." And for a year that now has no expectations, Drew should be great. Drew should be great. He should have a great season for the rest of the year because it ain't no expectations. We're still a very talented team. Maybe that helps Foskey play better. Now we don't have to worry about him getting 20 sacks because it don't matter. We're just looking to not be in the toilet bowl, the tax slayer bowl, the Popeye's chicken bowl at the end.
Yeah.
So right now, Foskey, you can play free. Right? You can play
How
free.
realistic is that? Like you would think on the professional level, college, high school, that people don't play harder for certain people or certain leaders can get guys to play at a different level. But I mean, I've come to realize from my experience that it's a reality. When certain guys walk into the room, like everyone raises their expectations.
The perfect example is Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield made Oklahoma relevant on a national level because of why? Everybody couldn't stop watching him dance and hit all the crazy moves and put the flag in the middle of Ohio State. That galvanizes the team. That's what the team like. That's what the team get going for. That's how the team has confidence going into Ohio State and beating the Urban Meyer-led team. Because you got Baker. And Urban Meyer said after the game, that's the best quarterback has ever played against me at home. He mentioned the quarterback, not the team.
That's real.
He mentioned the quarterback. The quarterback beats Nick Saban. Cam Newton against Alabama, it was Cam Newton why they beat Alabama.
Facts.
Solely, though. Like they
Facts.
were lose that game.
Yeah.
And Cam himself.
His confidence. Like, even when they got down early, it was like,
everybody knew in that stadium it's still Cam Newton.
Yeah.
We ain't off the hook, even though we up at home. 21 up. Number 1 team in the country or whatever. And Cam still beat him, the quarterback. So Marcus Freeman doesn't have that guy. So Marcus Freeman can be the best leader in the world. But Marcus Freeman don't throw touchdowns. And we talked about that. The team, the most famous person on the team is the coach. Just like last time. The coach was the most famous guy on the team last time. And what was the result of that? Terrible quarterback execution in big games when it mattered. Because the coach is the more famous one. Not that the quarterback has to be the more famous one, but damn, Bryce Young's pretty damn famous. You talk about Nick Saban, you talk about Bryce Young not too far after that. So does he have to be the superstar? No. But do most winning teams have a superstar quarterback? Yes. They trying to pump up Stetson Bennett now. Or Benson or whatever. Oh, he should be in the Heisman conversation. Why? They got the better team. He's playing great on a great team. Come on. So unfortunately for Marcus Freeman, which he knows, I'm sure he knows, you can't go nowhere without no quarterback. And it proved it. We done got the defense better. We done got the coaching staff better. We got the vibes on campus better. Everybody's on the same belief, more belief than we've had in the last 10 years, and we've been good enough to win in the last 10 years. And you go out there, you go 0-2. Why? What's the one thing he couldn't control? The quarterback, the offense. Even the quarterback he's recruiting got shafted. And he didn't even know. The head coach didn't even know that the quarterback he was recruiting was questioning the recruitment. So it's not a surprise we go out there and have the worst quarterback the first 2 games. He don't got no control over it. I'm not abdicating him from everything. But I know what, in big picture, what you need and what matters. What you need is a quarterback if you're trying to win a championship. It's just a part of the formula. There's only 2 formulas to win right now. A superstar generational quarterback or 25 stars on defense. It's one of the 2. And even with 25 stars on defense, you better hope that the star quarterback you're going against in the end don't got no receivers. Because when he had receivers, all them 5 stars was looking like 2 stars. Bryce Young was going crazy. Guys running past the number 1 defense, guys not blowing the diamonds. Bryce is in there throwing dots all day. It wasn't until the man's receivers got taken away. They still barely won. So I guarantee you, if Marcus Freeman and CJ Carr is what we think he is, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Lucky Lefty podcast. It's interesting you say that because one of my upset picks this week is definitely the Miami Hurricanes going down to Texas A&M. Like, I'm pulling for Texas A&M to definitely start out with 2 consecutive losses because it would shine a horrible light on this NIL stuff, in my opinion.
If they lose
back-to-back weeks, I think people will be like, okay, wait a minute. Like, and it goes to your point. Jimbo Fisher right now is living off of Jameis Winston.
Oh, 100%.
He's not living off of himself as a coach. He's living off Jameis Winston.
And Jalen Ramsey.
He didn't win anything until Jameis got there. And after Jameis left, the entire program went downhill.
He had to leave the program. He had to leave. He had to give him an Urban Meyer excuse.
Man, you're saying something today, Left.
So it's like, why are we fooling ourselves to think that that's not a huge, if not the biggest factor in winning championships? Losing, Texas A&M losing was absolutely right what you said. It was the worst thing that could have happened to NIL. Because you pay a lot of money to buy wins like last week. Coming up short, if you had a company that had stock, and you invest a lot of money, you want a return. I don't want to pay $3 for a stock because I'm expected to hit $10, and then after 2 months, it hits 20 cents. That's scaring me as an investor because you basically guaranteed it's hitting 10. We getting 10 wins with these 5 stars and NIL money. As an investor, 2 weeks in, I want to pull my money out. And people buying the dip. People are buying the dip right now. It's at 20 cents right now for the NIL stock market because it's proving and it's tanking with all this money you spending. So I know them investors at Texas, they're lucky they made it a game. But if Alabama went in there and blew them boys out, they might have to get rid of NIL. They like, what's the point? They paying a lineman $60,000, something crazy a year, and they put up 19 points.
The crazy thing is, based upon what you're saying, I fully believe, based upon what was seen in the offseason, the rest of the Texas squad knew they had a dog at quarterback going into their game and knew they had a shot.
They had a chance.
They knew they had a shot because of Quinn Ewers. They knew it.
They knew it.
And that's the impact of the quarterback position on a team, in a team psyche, right?
Hell, the fans knew it. The fans knew.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, we got Quinn Ewers. We don't care. We got Arch Manning."
But heck, they watched him for 4 years down in Texas as a prep star. They knew who he was.
Yes.
And you put him with Steve Sarkisian for the next 2 years with Arch in the holster.
And some talent on the outside.
Yeah, Jimbo might have to move again.
If he don't get a quarterback,
yeah,
ain't enough press conferences in the world with all the good lines that you throwing at Saban are going to matter because they're going to be like, you losing still. Kellen Mond had nothing to be happy about too much.
Yeah,
Kellen Mond gave you time at Texas A&M. Time to fool people to give you more money. But y'all was never in no national championship contention. Y'all had a bunch of close chances until y'all played. As always, y'all was like number 4, creeping up. Then y'all play a big game against Auburn or some shit, and y'all lose. Every time. LSU, y'all lose or something. Now y'all go from being a sneaky college football playoff to end up finishing top 15. Every time. So Kellen Mond, you can't count that as a success like Jameis. You can't. So all Kellen Mond did was buy Jimbo Fisher more time. And now we looking up, and he's been there for about 5-6 years, no championships, talking about all this money they spent on NIL. Just say we need to spend $100,000 on the quarterback and leave it at that.
Yeah. I can rock with that. Lucky Lefty podcast. All right, let's get to it, man. Malik's 3 keys to a dub against the Cal Bears Saturday, Notre Dame Stadium, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Drew Pine is your starting quarterback. What's your 3 keys to a dub, Left?
Drew Pine, man, go out there and distribute the ball. So I need 7 different people touching the football. Because that would be the only difference between you and Tyler Buckner outside of running, is that you going to get the people to football. I think Tommy was waiting on this opportunity in the back of his mind. I think Tommy had a game plan in the back of his mind if, in fact, Tyler couldn't go. So I do think we'll see a lot more of the offense. One of the things we have to do, because I believe we're going to win regardless, Drew has to show that he can distribute the football. If you just throwing to Michael Mayer and Lorenzo all the time, then it's a disservice to the team. It's a disservice to the team. So you need to disperse the football. 7 different guys got to touch the football. That's number 1.
7?
Number 2, 7. Because
Okay.
we got 7. We got more than 7. We got more than 7. Shit, when I first started, I threw it to 7 different receivers the first game. And after I got hurt, only 3 receivers caught the ball the rest of the season. So expectations for scoring a lot of points, a lot of people got to touch the football. Jane Thomas, I got to see that he got a heartbeat. I got to see Tobias Merriweather didn't transfer already. I don't even know if he's on the team. Like, I've seen maybe 1 practice clip of Tobias Merriweather since he's been on campus. I ain't seen him in the game. I ain't even seen him on the sideline. I can't recognize him.
Last time I checked, he's still on the roster. Let me look.
Yeah, let me look. We got to check to see if we still got guys. Because I'm seeing a bunch of articles how we don't have no talent again. It's like they save articles from last year and then regurgitate them this year when we definitely have talent. Is he still on the roster? Like, good grief. So I need to see a Tobias and Jaden make an appearance. To know we got depth. To know when we play a serious team like SC that we can compete.
I don't even consider SC a serious team this year.
I don't even consider them a serious, but every team
serious. They're not a serious contender. I'll put it that way. Okay. We'll learn a lot when they face Utah and Oregon State about their physical toughness. We'll learn a lot about that squad. But, Caleb is definitely
making it look easy to score a lot of points.
He's the odds-on favorite for the Heisman right now. Because the offense is going to put up ridiculous numbers. So,
ridiculous. It's like actually ridiculous.
yeah.
But Caleb's smart. Go to where there's a great offensive coach. Quinn Ewers was like, shit, I'm getting out of Ohio State. Y'all don't do nothing over here. I'm going with Steve Sarkisian. Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Caleb Williams was like, man, I'm going with Lincoln wherever he go. Smart. Smart. Keaton Slovis was smart. He said, no, they ain't calling. Oh, that's a great school, but shit, not the way y'all look on offense.
I remember this vividly because I remember a lot of people laughing at you. Remember when Jaden Daniels jumped into the transfer portal and you were like, yo, we need to give him a call. And other people on other podcasts and people in the chat were like, what? Tyler's just as good as him. And you rolled your eyes and you were like, see.
That's the problem.
But that's the thing. Like, Notre Dame shouldn't be in a position where we're looking in the transfer portal every season for a quarterback. That's telling. That's very telling as a program. I don't care how many times you win.
Backup quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Backup guys that lost the job.
Yeah.
We're Notre Dame.
Yeah.
A guy like Jack Cohn's supposed to transfer to a Marshall, the FIU, somewhere in the East Coast.
Yeah.
Maine State, UMass. He went to an elite top 5 program after losing his starting job at a subpar team that we beat the next season.
Absolutely.
How is that Notre Dame? How is that Notre Dame? And on top of that, Drew Pine, the guy we got starting now, was on the team when we was searching for guys. Think about that. Drew Pine, a 5th-year senior. And every year he's been here, we've been dying to find somebody else. That's sick.
Yeah.
We've been dying to get backup quarterbacks from Wisconsin with Drew Pine on the roster. Veteran at that point. To the point where not only did we get Jack Cohn, we named Tyler Buckner over him. So how much faith does the team have in Drew Pine for real? A 5th-year senior that we've been wanting to recruit other guys. We calling guys the first day after they get working out. Why didn't he say, oh, we got Drew Pine, we good?
Yeah.
Y'all said, no, we got Tyler Buckner, we're straight, and Jack Cohn.
Yeah.
Now we got Drew Pine starting, and y'all like, now we're going to fix the problem. Come on, bro.
Yeah. I mean, Drew is actually I think he's a junior with 2 years of eligibility left because of COVID. But he's been here. That's your point.
Yeah. He ain't Tyler Buckner young.
He's been here, And I think in honest assessment, I can honestly look at it now without emotions and say, if I was the former head coach and I looked at the quarterback room moving forward, I might be like, you know what? I can't win like this. I'm gonna have to be in a transfer portal for the next 2 seasons, and I don't want to do that. And that's the decline I was talking about the other day that was subtle. And just because Notre Dame was stacking 10-win seasons, nobody really paid attention to the decline within the program that ultimately leads you to where your quarterback room looks the way it looks.
And let's answer a simple question. Out of the top 25 teams, where does our quarterback room rank? What is it rank?
How far do you want to go back? How many years?
Shit, we talking about right now.
Oh, you talking about
where does our quarterback room rank with everybody healthy in the country right now? It's probably bottom 35.
Ooh, LL Nation. That's the question of the day.
Where does our quarterback room rank in the country if we had to put a number on it? It's in the top 35.
Fully healthy?
Fully healthy.
It's
We
not
got
top 10.
Dupont, Ron Paulus, Steve Angeli, and Tyler Buckner in that room. That's not beating the junior varsity team right now. And then on top of that, Tyler Buckner's hurt. So where's the talent in the room? Where's the talent in the room? Where's the guy that's like, he may not be ready, but you know, he like, where's the Prince Collie of the quarterback room? Well, we know if Prince just learning stuff or whatever the case is, it's off and running.
Mm.
Where's even the potential we know exactly what we getting in that quarterback room. We don't even have no, well, shit, I heard Ron Paulus might like his daddy. Maybe they don't even talk about Ron Paulus Jr. And it's crazy because in a full circle of things, Ron Paulus was more famous than Peyton Manning at that time. That's why Peyton Manning didn't go to Notre Dame because Ron Paulus went.
Facts.
Fast forward in life, Arch Manning, Peyton's nephew, running the show, top in the country, can't do no wrong. Ron Paulus Jr. on the team, you don't even see the article about it. So it's like, damn, what are we doing here?
Dude, you saying that like the quarterback room in 2015 went from no. Brandon came in what, 16?
16, yeah.
So the quarterback room in 16 was you,
Or 15, maybe.
it was you, Deshaun, and Brandon. That's bananas.
That's a pretty solid room.
That's
But when we talk about winning championships, you're like, okay, that room ranks in the top 5, 10. Like,
yeah.
that's a room that I can see.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Look at Alabama's room. Mac Jones, Tua, and Jalen. That's championship. It's like, duh. What?
Right. And then when Mac finally gets his shot, we're gonna put Bryce in the holster.
Bryce in the holster.
We're not even gonna release him this year. We're gonna sit him out for a
He
year.
probably could have played last year or played the year Mac was here.
Right.
They spoiled with riches over there.
Right.
So the QB room ranking matters. That needs to be a stat. Where's the room rank?
Right.
Because the room rank is where
even Nick Saban and his greatness recognized, like, okay, I know I've been winning with running game and defense, but things are changing, and I need to go out and get guys that are better than A.J. McCarron and Greg McElroy. Like, I can't win with those guys anymore. Like, I need to go get some dudes.
And he didn't make it hard.
Yeah.
He just went and got Jalen, an unfinished product, and made it work. We're like going backwards. We're like stuck in what year did Jalen go to school? 2016?
Jalen lost to as a freshman in 16. Yes.
Okay.
16.
We're taking the QB strategy of Alabama in 2016. Tyler Buckner is more like Jalen Hurts than he is Bryce Young. We need to be getting whatever Bryce Young types look like. Clearly, we stuck in 2016 with a guy we asking to run Wildcat packages. If the commentators that we're hiring to call our games call our quarterback a Wildcat guy, that can be anybody, we far from where we need to be. And that's a commentator. A guy that just sits up there in the box.
Well, heck, the play-by-play guy is a graduate. You would think he has the playbook on how to big up Notre Dame players. You know what I mean? Like make
bigging up. Yeah,
be hyperbolic about Notre Dame players, and here he is calling you starting quarterback a glorified Wildcat. Yeah, that's not too good, man. That's not too good.
That don't even sound like a championship team. When the last time Wildcat was used? 2012 with Ronnie Anderson from Miami.
Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That is the last time I've heard of Wildcat used in a long time.
That's how Arkansas got on the map. with him and McFadden.
That was McFadden was 28, 2008 or something. That's the last time. I'm serious. The last time I heard Wildcat mentioned in a football game on TV was like in the 2010s. Maybe 2008 when it was popular.
Yeah.
We're in 2022, and I hear on my TV, our quarterback's a Wildcat guy. They don't even call Taysom Hill a Wildcat guy. They call him a utility player that can play special teams and punt and all. They don't even call him Wildcat. They just say he can do it all. We in 2022 with a generic. He called it a generic Wildcat.
Yeah.
Like, damn. So that's why I said Jason Garrett is not cutting it for me as a commentator. Because what are you talking about, bro?
You mean Garrett? Yeah, Jason Garrett.
Yeah, come on, Jason. Like,
Lucky Lefty podcast.
You had Dak, bro. What are you talking about? You had Dak. Talking about Wildcat quarterback.
We have two big time former Notre Dame linebackers coming to campus this weekend. One, Manti Te'o, coming off a fantastic Netflix documentary and coming back to campus for the first time. And it's going to be good to have him back on campus and just get his energy back on the campus. That's the type of energy he brought to the program and brought to the field every time he stepped on the field. So it's going to be a feel-good story. Him speaking to the student body, him speaking to the team, and then taking the walk to the stadium. That's going to be huge, and I'm sure it's going to be covered much on the broadcast and pregame. So looking forward to that. And then Tavon Coney is going to be coming back to campus. And you talked about a kid that just gave maximum effort at the linebacker position and got it done. And what he's doing, I mean, coming to Notre Dame, graduating in 3 years, multiple businesses, the embodiment.
Nonprofit foundation.
Absolutely. Just the embodiment of what football and Notre Dame can give to a young man. Right? And I always tell this to people, man. I'm like, yo, when you come to a school like Notre Dame, it gives you the option to wake up one day and be like, I don't want to have to go through this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. I grew up with Trezell Jenkins, and he was a left tackle at Michigan. He was 1 year ahead of me in the neighborhood, coming up through school. And we ended up going to the same high school. And I remember following him and following his recruitment. And this dude was a genius. This dude was like 6'6", 300 pounds, played left tackle at Michigan, went to the NFL, was drafted by the Chiefs. And I remember tuning into a Chiefs game and they were like, yeah, Trezell Jenkins decided to retire. And this was like after 3 seasons, bro. After 3 seasons in the NFL, he just said, I'm done, and went to medical school. Not because he was injured, not because he couldn't continue to play.
The guy from Florida State?
Myron Rowe.
Myron Rowe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Serious.
And those, to me, those are cool stories, bro. We can talk about all of the accomplishments of guys on the field, how great they are, but when you have people that can play the game and then make the decision like, I'm not feeling it anymore. I have options. Let me go be a doctor. Let me go be a Rhodes Scholar. Let me go be a neurosurgeon. Those two guys, man, that just had the option and chose to walk away from the game when they were ready. Young men need to understand that's the top type of opportunity you get when you come to an institution like Notre Dame. Like, yeah, you can play the game. Yeah, we're going to set you up to play the game. We'll get you to the league. The 5th most players in the league in all of college football. We'll get you to the league. 100%. Yeah, but we will also put you in a position where you can look at the league and we all know what you have to go through to play that game. You can honestly wake up one morning like, I'm not doing that anymore.
No, facts.
I'm not doing that anymore. I got options.
I got options.
I got options. And that's all. That's all you want to do. So it's going to be great to have both of those guys on campus who are tremendous ambassadors for Notre Dame, the football program, and the total embodiment of Notre Dame within itself. Shout out to them both, Tavon Coney and Manti Te'o, coming back with his family and being on campus this weekend. Irish fans, I'm sure they're going to be
Turn up.
ecstatic. They're going to be ecstatic about seeing them both. Big recruiting weekend.
Nah, Manti's famous now. Manti's famous.
No. Top 5, arguably top 5 all time. Arguably.
Shit, top 2. I think it's him and Brady Quinn.
Yo.
Like, him and Brady Quinn got it, man.
Like, yeah. That dude, man. I just hate the way his career ended because he deserved better for what he brought to Notre Dame. You know, and I'm not removing him as far as a responsibility and accountability. I'm just saying it was just unfortunate the way things went because I think it impacted his NFL career, and moving forward, it was tough. It was tough. Woo, man. What's your prediction, bro? Before we get into the Fuller Culture Friday, what's? And I'll get back to the recruiting because I was about to mention the recruits coming in this weekend. Go ahead.
I got us 28-14 again. 28-14 again. I don't think we possess enough to get 35. However, I do think we have possessed enough to get more than 2 touchdowns this week. And I think the running game is going to open up a little bit more because we're going to throw down the field a little bit more. We're going to see more guys get action. So I'm giving us a chance to get 28. I almost said 21, but I'm like, that's too harsh. I went there. I can't be that harsh. 28 is a good ceiling. And eventually, I do think that, they'll score some points just because at the end of the day, they're going to be on the field a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They had 90 plays the last 2 games, probably more than that.
Yeah.
Or close to it. It's a lot of plays.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
24-10 is my score. I'll go even lower. Dude, if Notre Dame scores 17 points, this game is over. The game is over. They put up 20 points against UNLV. If Notre Dame simply scores 17 points offensively, the game is over.
The game is over, man.
It really is. Like, dude,
we don't
put
have
up
to
17, play the defense you know you can play, and play with energy. And like, I'm sick and tired of like even dissecting this game. I don't even need to talk about Cal. This isn't even about Cal.
It's not
Notre
about
Dame, either you're going to show up or you don't. Either you show up or you don't. Like, it's not your fans. Like, we're waiting for the real Notre Dame to show up. That's all. Right. That's all. We're not asking you to be superheroes. No. Just be the team that we expect you to be.
That's
Absolutely. That's it. Leaders, lead. Stars, be stars.
Be stars.
Make plays. That's it. Put the freshmen in the game. Give them an opportunity to make an impact on the team. That's it. Call a few screenplays. Just a couple.
Just to show variety, man.
Just to see if they work. That's all. Just see if they work.
I like that. Just to see if it works.
Just to see if they work. Right? Wasn't last night like, because we've talked culture. Last night was a perfect example, right? Look at the Chargers' culture over the last 10 years, right? How they've always barely missed the playoffs, right? Coach Lynn, Anthony Lynn, when he was there, they were 8-8, 9-7, always a game away, gave too many games away, had better talent, should have been in the playoffs. They get Brandon Staley, totally different coach, more aggressive, has a quarterback what happened last year? They still barely missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
They come up against Patrick Mahomes last night. They dominate the game. Herbert throws for almost 340?
Yeah.
They run the ball well. Their defense gets after Patrick Mahomes. Who won the game?
The better quarterback.
And the better culture. They still have not changed the culture with the Chargers, dude. Right? And Kansas City has established a winning culture. And that's what culture would do for you. When you don't play your best, you still can win games.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't drop interceptions in the end zone. You don't drop interceptions at midfield. What do? When you get the opportunity for a pick six, you make the play.
Yeah.
That's a winning culture.
It's like we don't accept the drops.
Man. It's as simple as that. Just make the plays. The plays have been available the first 2 weeks for Notre Dame. Go make the plays.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're not
Just
asking
go
that
make
much.
the plays, man.
We're not asking that much.
You actually, man, look, because I went over last week. I thought they would put up points. This week, I'm way on the other end of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm way on the spectrum. Lucky Lefty Podcast for the Culture Fridays. The link right now is in the chat. If you want to jump in, make a comment, give a question, we welcome you. Coming to the campus this weekend, we have from Tennyson High School out of California, 23 wide receiver Shaun Lyons, who could become the fourth of that impressive wide receiver haul in the 2023 class. Very great news coming out of the visit with Jeremiah Love. He still has a visit down to Texas A&M. But from talking to people close to him, the word they used was excellent in spite of the game. And talking to his boy Christian Gray out of St. Louis, they still feel really good that the young man is ultimately going to choose Notre Dame and be a part of the 2023 class. Notre Dame. Now, this is what's interesting. Notre Dame actually has a couple of quarterbacks. I know one is being recruited as a linebacker. The other one is coming to campus in the class of 24. They already have a quarterback in the class of 24 in CJ Carr. So you don't know if they're having a mentality of like, we're going to double up in the 24 class, or is this a signal that the reclassification of CJ Carr may be a thing? You know, we have to keep our
real
streets to see how things go and how things play out. But 24 quarterbacks on campus, and hopefully they start to get some more of the 23 quarterbacks on campus as they dig deeper into the season and they're able to convince guys that might be committed to come on, take this trip, and see what we have. You already know who we want. Yeah, dude,
Kenny
man,
Minchie.
go get Kenny Minchie. I don't care what it takes. Yeah. Go get Kenny Minchie.
That's the first step if we want to be serious.
Yeah.
And I think Marcus Freeman's done such a great job this year and setting the precedent for the next couple years. It should be about filling that quarterback room up. Because in reality, that's the least talented position group on the team by far.
Yeah.
By far. Like, it's not even close. It's not even close. Hell, most of the quarterbacks in the room can't play two positions. That's why it's not close.
Yeah.
Damn near everybody else on the team can play multiple things. We've gotten that advanced in recruiting. Everybody can play both ways damn near. Except the quarterbacks. But at least if they're not going to play both ways, at least have the quarterbacks be generational. Right?
Yeah, they thought they had a generational quarterback in the fold for the class of 23.
For the class of 23 or 24?
23.
Marcus Freeman thought he had. his quarterback in class 42. Not
Freeman
Notre
definitely,
Dame. Marcus Freeman thought.
Freeman definitely thought he had his quarterback. He definitely did. And for me, I don't know if you heard this story, of course, because of copyright, we can't play the video, but Sean Payton was on with Colin Cowherd. And Cowherd is like talking about how beautiful Justin Herbert looks in the pocket, how beautiful his ball is, and how he goes through his progression so quickly. And he's like, he has to be the best right now. And Sean Payton stops him and was like, no, the other guy's the best. And Colin just has this look on his face. And he's like, oh, what? When Sean Payton was like, look,
Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback.
look here, man.
Stop playing.
And I want to make a point. Sean Payton said, we flew down in secret to see this dude. I sent him the playbook the day before. It was an install. I sent him the playbook. We flew down the next day, took him in. He was the most impressive I've ever seen film whiteboard, ever. We take him out on the field. It's Lubbock, Texas. Super windy out. Like this dude is throwing like 65 into the wind with ease. He said, I looked at the GM in the middle of the workout and said, this is our quarterback for the next 15 years. Because this is like Drew Brees, like considering retirement.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the next guy in.
And at this point, Patrick is like, yo, maybe the third or fourth ranked quarterback in that class coming out. Because the experts had Mitch Trubisky, number one and number two.
Let's not talk about
it. I don't even want to talk about that.
Even though he won last week. Got to give it to him. He won last week.
So normally when you go to a town and you work out a kid, you go have dinner or you go have lunch. Sean Payton told his staff, we're going right back to the PJ. We're not stopping anywhere. I don't want anybody to know we were here. They had the 11th pick in the draft, bro. He said it got to 9, and he was still there. And he said he looked at his people and was like, we good.
We
said
straight.
The 9th pick was taken. He said, we're good. Because the next team on the clock didn't need a quarterback.
Right.
He said the scroll came across and said, we have a trade. And he said as soon as he saw it was Kansas City, he was like, it's a wrap. Because he knew Andy Reid. It takes someone to be able to properly evaluate the position to know. Like, you don't have to always go get the 5-star guy. But you need someone in your building that can properly evaluate the position and develop the position, right? Who were the two guys that wanted to move up to get Patrick Mahomes? Andy Reid, Sean Payton. They were the two that recognized, like, yo, this dude is it. We can talk about going to get the next quarterback. You have to have someone in the building. You know, Marcus Freeman, he doesn't know quarterback play. He has to be able to trust someone or trust people in the building to be able to say, this is the dude. They believe C.J. Carr is a dude. But they're going to have to keep that trend going.
Right? Yeah, like C.J. Carr is not the answer for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
C.J. Carr is the answer for the next minute, but we need 2025 class to be a 5-star quarterback. We need 2023 to have a guy.
Man.
Damn it. We can't be sitting there having one guy and waiting forever. Like, that's how we got in this spot now.
Yeah.
When it was Tommy, Ev, Gonna Kill, me, all of us, that was a room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after
I forgot Gunner Kill was in the room. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then you get all the way to end and we stop recruiting.
That's what it looks like.
We start picking up We start picking up Brandon Clark. Who is that?
Yeah.
Phil Jacovic at one point was supposed to be supposedly the guy coming next. And then after Phil and Brandon Clark, we got who we get next? Drew Pine, right?
Yeah.
Now stack up Drew Pine, Brandon Clark, Ian Book, and Phil Jacovic against Tommy, Gunner, me, Ev, Deshaun, Brandon. What are we talking about? We stopped recruiting.
Yeah, that's why you happen to be in a position, man. Notre Dame has happened to go to the transfer portal for quarterbacks. That's
A top 5 program, not team,
that's
program.
that's not good. That's not good. Now, see, Troy, this is my point. That Drew Pine was a highly recruited quarterback. I think
Highly
Tommy
recruited by
dude,
who?
look, I don't care
By
how many.
what?
I don't care. He won a bunch of state titles in Connecticut, right? At a prep school where they probably had more talent than everybody in the state. But there's no way you're evaluating his tape and come away thinking like, okay, that's a dude. That's a dude. I don't care how many stars he had. I don't care how many championships he had won. You have to have someone that can evaluate and say, you know what? All right, cool. The coach at NYU, I mean not NYU, the coach at not NIU, but oh man. They both went to Mount Carmel. And Mount Carmel in Chicago is pretty much.
Is that the same one as the Mount Carmel in Indiana? I know Chicago, Indiana close, but like, you know what I'm talking about?
No. Two totally different squads.
Okay.
This one is in Chicago. Dude, they dominated Illinois football for like 20 years.
Oh, okay. Like, they powerhouse type.
Yeah, it was a wrap, right? So they ran the triple option, right? So their quarterbacks only throw the ball 10 to 12 times a game. But anyone that watched Donovan McNabb when he played there could tell
that it was bigger than the 13 passes a game. Like it was, that's not going to define him as a player.
Thank you. He's only throwing the ball 10 times a game. But when he throws it, you can tell.
He's a dude. We can give him some stuff.
Dude. Absolutely, he's a dude. Jordan Lynch, on the other hand, had the same amount of success. Highly recruited quarterback, right? Nah, he's not a dude like that. So you can be highly recruited, are you a dude? And you have to be able to identify those dudes. And if you don't have someone on your staff that can identify dudes,
where's the eye for the talent at?
Yo, no one was
even from an eye test. Even from an eye test, you're not looking at Drew Pine being like, "That's a Notre Dame guy right there."
Right.
There's no eye test in the world that can tell you that.
Yeah.
And you cut on the tape, you see he plays well, but come on.
Yeah.
Eye test. Where are the guys with eye tests where you're like, that's a play I don't even need to watch? Or how they evaluated Aaron Rodgers. He threw one slant at JUCO. They said, oh, yeah, he's next up.
Bro, I saw 2 plays from Cade Klubnik in that first game, and I was like, okay. I see it.
You saw 2 things that DJ couldn't do and said, okay, they got something.
I said, okay, I see it. Like, I anticipated that he was going to be better than DJ, but like, yeah, now I see it. And I had people like you telling me, like, bro, that's a wrap. Like, DJ is on his expiration date is coming soon. Like, it's about to be a wrap. So yeah,
what was it like? A couple throws from Trevor Oh, the Trevor Kelly Bryant situation.
Yeah.
Kelly Bryant scores. And they still put Trevor in. And what happened? Trevor just threw 1 or 2 passes. He scored right back. But then 1 or 2 passes, I said, oh, yeah, we know what's going on here.
Yeah. The pass. It was against Texas A&M. This cat Trevor makes like 2 throws, and you're like,
2 throws.
yeah.
All right, Kelly, we see what's coming.
That's NFL. That's NFL. Right? When you had Taj and Deshaun on the same squad,
you saw it coming.
Deshaun would come in and you would say, okay. Taj is the leader, but this dude
Taj is the leader, and Taj has been there and he's good and all that.
But this dude is different.
But we're not winning without him.
No. And that is ultimately, as we move forward, what might end up being the program barometer for Notre Dame. Like how this quarterback room changes. It seems like they're getting more talent and more depth in the other rooms with the 23 class and with the 24 class. And you see, they already flipped the script in the 24 class because they got out early defensively in 23. 24, they've gotten out early on the offensive side of the ball. So, Cam Williams, he's coming in. Cam Williams has become one of the biggest voices and one of the most important voices in the 24 class because he's the one building a relationship with Jeremiah McClellan, Ryan Wingo, 24 wide receivers out of St. Louis. He's good friends with defensive tackle Justin Scott out of Chicago. He was part of the original trio that was C.J. Carr, Jack Larson, and him that committed and started the run of the 24 class. So Cam Williams is coming to town. He's going to be back for multiple games. Drake Bowen, of course. Drake Bowen is coming to every home game, like flat out. He's going to be there. I think the only time he might miss it is to like get his crown as a king of the homecoming for high school, and he still might come to the game and rush back for the dance the way he is if they have a game on that particular weekend. So, and then you have a host of other 24 kids coming in from all over the place and 25 kids. So I think they're going to see a really good game.
Yeah, man, we got to impress these kids now. We got Impemba coming for Clemson, you know, and I think that it's important that we win the game for recruiting.
And one of the things Cam Williams did say, I flat out asked him, like, yo, what's the vibe after these first 2 games? And he flat out told me, like, yo, there's something special going on in Notre Dame. I see it, and the other guys see it too. They know. Like, so the recruits still believe in Marcus Freeman and his staff and what's trying to be established. So, yo, hope you enjoyed today's show. Sorry, we couldn't give you, man. We just refused to give you breakdown of Cal.
Yeah, because that's for what?
Yo, that game they played against UNLV might have been one of the best snooze fests ever.
No, not like Ohio State and Toledo. That's the snooze fest. Why is that on national TV tonight or Saturday?
You know why. It's a big brand. Ohio State's a big brand. So, I mean, Toledo did
be scheduled for 2 big teams playing.
Toledo did take Notre Dame down to the wire last year, so maybe they got a little bump and credibility and brand.
I hope we're not counting. See, this is the misconception I hate about us. We play close games with Toledo, then I got to get all these fans talking about Toledo giving y'all a run for y'all money. No, that's how we play. It don't matter if it's Toledo, SC, Alabama. We playing every game to the wire. Y'all not telling me nothing? Come on, man. So you can't use us against another team that's trash and say, oh, they was giving us problems. Every team gives us problems. We just win in the last minute.
Yo, shout out to I have to check out some more this weekend, but I enjoyed thus far the Ari Lennox album. You know, the pressure, double entendre right here. of coming behind the hit single pressure and making sure the album kind of lands the mark. Thus far, I think she did a decent job. I have to give her a little credit. And it was a sophomore. Yeah, it's a sophomore album, right? So it's sophomore album. So and Kendrick was in LA last night. I got to see snippets sent to me by my baby girl, and I'm still ticked off. I missed him when he came through Chicago. Still ticked off, bro. You know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, Petty Story of the Day, brought to you by Onora Whisky, OnoraWhisky.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhisky.com. Yo, your boy Everett for the Chargers is mad petty, bro.
Oh my goodness. You saw that? It's like if I'm Justin Herbert, I'm like, what are you talking? Stop talking to me, man. It's nothing.
Justin Herbert rolled his eyes and looked the other way, like, man, if you don't get out of my face, bro.
Yeah, man, get out of here, man.
Talking about I was tired. Oh, man.
Can't finish at all.
Like, man, you can't muster up energy to run a hook route, a 4-yard hook route, and just stand in front of the guy. Yo.
Gassed.
Man. So, Indy for Life, thank you for tapping in, Shaun, Malik. Never stop working and hustling. I love it. Keep up the good work. Love y'all, bro. We love you too. Will E, why does Indy target 3- and 4-star recruits instead of 5-star recruits?
We've targeted 5 now.
And then honestly, look, you have to be realistic. I think maybe there are 30 5-star recruits every class. Somewhere like that. And heck, half of those are going to Bama and Georgia right now. So,
yeah.
So,
literally 2 teams in the whole country got a handle on half.
Facts. So now you're fighting the rest of the country over 15. Throw in Clemson, Ohio State.
Ohio State, we fighting over about 6 or 7.
Yeah. If Notre Dame gets 2 to 3 5-stars, it's
we really broke into the mold. We breaking the mold.
Chief Brody, sup, fellas? Do you think Tommy will call more quick passes? I can't recall a single slant called against Marshall with the O-line that can't block and receivers who can't get open down the field. I kind of disagree because they've been open down the field plenty in the first 2 games. Plenty. So whomever is saying they haven't been open is telling lies. There have been plenty of downfield receivers open in both games. That's my only pushback. The problem is not whether or not they can get open. The problem is, can they actually complete the big plays when they get the opportunities? That's what's going to back teams up.
But there goes the caveat and the frustration again, because our mentality as an offense isn't throw it deep. Our mentality as an offense is run the football. USC's mentality of offense is not run the football. USC's mentality is we're scoring points fast and all the time. So that's what I'm saying. We are disappointed in our philosophy, not the team.
That's why Travis Dye runs so hard when he gets a run. Because he's like, I'm not getting this for like another 7 plays.
That's not our identity. Our identity is not to get open downfield.
Yeah.
That's what Marcus Freeman said. So technically, I can't be too mad at Tommy because he's like, that's not our identity going deep. I don't care if they open. Maybe they're not coaching Tyler to look deep. Maybe they're coaching Tyler to chip these guys away all day. We're just going to chip. Eat the clock, run the ball. If that's the mentality, then is it Tyler's fault? that we can't score points down the field? Is it Tyler's fault that we not trained up on hitting go open routes down the field?
Yeah.
Is it his fault?
Yeah.
Or is he doing what he's asked to do? Unfortunately, doing what you asked to do doesn't win championships at the quarterback position because you need a little bit more.
Yeah. And Irish One, big time follower, said, Shaun, prayers up. Found out I got cancer when I went in for a CT scan for a hernia. Got to start chemo soon. And Irish One, we appreciate you for how you support us. You're a big part of LL Nation. And I speak the divine healing of God over your life, and that your body and your faith will be strengthened in this walk and journey, and that you shall be victorious over cancer and come back stronger than ever. We
That's
did
right.
that to you today, man, and we appreciate you and love you.
Yeah,
Without
I
a doubt.
appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Everyone else, thank you for joining us today. Yeah, you know where to come. As soon as the clock hits 00, it's popping.
It's
Right here tomorrow. It's popping.
Oh, and
It's popping. And we'll get it done. Lucky Lefty Podcast. For Luck, have a fantastic. Hey, Luck, go pull the upset tonight, bro.
Yeah, we definitely. I'm working on the script now.
Go pull the upset tonight, and we'll see you guys tomorrow immediately after the game right here on the Lucky Lefty Podcast. Have a fantastic weekend. Great Friday. Most of all, make sure you spend it different. We appreciate you guys.